Hey y'all, how you perking? I hope you're perking good. So, money, coins, bills, finances, economy, cryptocurrency, the whole shebang. We're going to find out some answers to your questions today. I am a licensed mental health clinician as well as a spiritual intuitive, and in these videos we take a look at the tea with the tarot. These videos are always meant to be helpful, not hateful, so if you're down with that, then join the family here. We'd love to have you. And if you bring your attention down here, you'll see the subscribe button. Please click that. Subscribe if you haven't already. Make sure you're still subscribed. If you thought you were, this is what the notification bell should look like if you're going to get notified of my videos. But please check back on my profile from time to time because YouTube drops the ball. This is the join button if you want to be a part of the Perk Squad. Perk Squad gets 5 extra perks. You get to have custom emojis that you get to use in comments and live streams. You get to have a colorful badge by your name that shows how long you've been a member of the Perk Squad. You get to have exclusive videos, exclusive posts, and video shout outs like this one. Shout out to you, Cat Green. You are a new member of the Perk Squad here, and I am happy to have you. We're all happy to have you here in the community. So welcome, 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 and shout out again to you, Cat Green. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Awesome, y'all. Alrighty, so as you see, old peen sweater here is matching mama again with the matching little pinks. We got some pink colors here, and old peen sweater wanted to match. How sweet, how sweet. She's looking great. So yeah, y'all have been asking me all this stuff. I've seen people write in the comments, tell us something about cryptocurrency, or, is there going to be some sort of a financial shift over or reset or change or something along those lines? Is this gonna, crash the economy? Are we no longer going to have money? Are we going to shift totally to crypto? What's going on? What's happening here? And what's true and not true and all of that? Y'all been asking for some clarity on that. So I figured I would try to bite off and chew that one today for you. This is going to be a big one. We'll see how much we can get into this. So looking forward to it. Let's just go ahead and pull up the cards here. Jump right on in, shall we? Let's go ahead and move this microphone right here. Oh, we almost can't see. There we go. Now we see you. All right, let's dig in. Let's see how far we can get. And if we need to make this into 2 parts and do a second video to put on the Perk Squad for those members, then we can. But I will try to get as much information in this first video as I can. So let's take a look at this, shall we? Alrighty. Let's see. Spirit guides and angels and archangels, give us some insights into the future in a global sense. I'm not just talking about one particular country. In a global, international sense, the future of money, finance, banking, etc. Let's see. Well, okay, that's a hell of a card to start things out on. Let's see what kind of context we can get up on this. Interesting. This is so interesting, y'all, because just right off the bat, remember how in some of my previous monthly predictions videos, how I've been saying that there is, for lack of a better way of putting it, an energy on the planet now that is increasing every single month, getting stronger and stronger, where there is more, quote, power to the people, and that people, all of the little guys out there, we're all going to have kind of opportunities, chances to kind of express ourselves, speak up a little bit more, make something more based on what we want in our voice. And this is seeming like there is kind of a reflection of that I see in this. Now, we asked about the future of this stuff. So this is the future. This doesn't mean tomorrow, but this does lend itself to that trend that we've been talking about. So this is interesting. Let me see if I want to get any extra context cards. I'll get one over here. Okay. And do I want anything else right now? No, not right now. Okay, so in terms of the future of this stuff, it does look like there's going to be some sort of change or shift. This card is usually like a breakup card, so it's kind of like we're breaking up with the way things have always been as it relates to finances and money and things of that nature. It is this kind of sense of something ending or shifting, getting rid of the old to make way for something else. Things of that nature does come out here in this card. Then over here with this Two of Swords, we're kind of at a fork in the road right there. You know, we're making decisions as a collective. Again, this is international. We're making decisions to kind of know, okay, are we going to take this path or are we going to take that path? And interestingly enough, the path that gets decided is this Magician card here. This Magician, I like to show this. Magician here has all the suits of the tarot at his disposal. He's got the wands right here. He's got the cups and the pentacles and the swords. He's got everything right here at his disposal. He's able to make things into what he wants them to be. He's the ultimate alchemical creator, manifester. And this is kind of what it's saying about our society, that we are starting to build things based on our new vision for things. So kind of with this Magician, it's kind of like in the past there's these structures that came about and they were helpful for what we needed at the time, and then over time we've just started to expand and outgrow those, and those now are kind of considered archaic or just old school, or now people have found a way to make them too corruptible or whatever for them to be a part of the greater good anymore. And so this is kind of saying that there are some people out there that are just smart, innovative people that have some ideas about how to create something different or better. And those people have already started this process, and that ball is already rolling from what I can tell here. It's already started, it's already rolling. So for people who are wondering, is there gonna be some kind of a shift or a change or a reset or a whatever you want to call it, looks like that's already started. Doesn't mean it would necessarily happen super fast and, you know, a super steep hill to climb. It could be a slower and more gradual thing, but it looks like that's already started. Here with the World card in reverse, this is like things are still continuing. We're not tying a bow around this. This isn't over. It's still in development. It's still going. And with the Ten of Pentacles, look at all of this. This is a quintessential finance and money card, and this is a good sign. This is saying that in the future, as we talk about economies and finances and things like that, that things will be better at some point in the future, that there will be, with whatever this different design, so to speak, is, that it will suit the collective better than what we're using now. So with this, the Emperor card is that forward, fast-moving ambition. Just like, okay, I have this ambition, I have this drive, and I want to see how I can make it happen. And so I'm gonna try to figure that out. And it's saying that that's what the collective is doing, and that is on the right path here. The Judgment card is upright. This is good. This is on the right path here. So overall, yeah, I am seeing a change, and I'm seeing it as being a good thing. Collectively, a good thing. Now, in terms of any details beyond that. Let's look into that. So let me shove this up here and just kind of keep pulling on this, see what else we can find out about the details of what we're hearing here, any kind of additional context that we can get. All right, let's see. Okay. All right then. I want some context up on you over there. And I want some context on you over there. Interesting. Okay. So, again, this is walking away from what it was, what it currently is now. This is saying in the future, we are going to be walking away from this. So for people who are like, I don't want anything to change. I want to have, our financial stuff the same. I still want to use, paper bills and metal coins and I still want to, have things be this certain way. This is what I'm used to and this is what I like. It does look like that stuff's going to change. It doesn't look like it's going to stay that way. So I know some people think of it as like a conspiracy theory that there would be no more like cashing coins and stuff like that at some point. But it really does look like that's the case, that moving forward at some point in the future, we're going to be walking away from that. And I do see here, look at this person. I do see y'all over here with your arms crossed being like, no. To this, but this is the universe giving some sort of an emotional gift. So in some sort of a way, the universe, spirit and all of this ethereal beings and folks and whatever you want to call it, how the universe works, however you want to classify that or call that to make you feel comfortable. It looks like they are seeing this as a gift in some sort of a way. They are seeing this as some sort of way to answer an emotional call from people. People have been putting out this emotional signal of, I don't like this. I feel trapped in the current system. It beats people while they're already down. This can't be the same way. I want this to change. And so they're saying, okay, we're finding ways to plant seeds on your planet so that this can change. And some people are like, no, with their arms crossed about it. So they're saying for people who can't really think zoomed out and broadened out, looking at the picture from a zoomed out perspective, for people who can't see it that way, they're encouraging you to try to, because they're saying that, yeah, the details aren't worked out yet, but in terms of the trending direction of this is a better trending direction for the people. So they're trying to get folks to see that. That being said, that positive thing being said, we do see that. Does that card look too positive right about now? They're saying that the ending of the old will bring about some painful stuff. This may not be the smoothest or happiest ending of the old. This may not be without protest. This may not be without resentments, hurt feelings, things of that nature. There could be some aspects to this going from the old and moving into the new that doesn't go over so well or doesn't feel so comfortable and stuff like that. But with the Wheel of Fortune on it, they're saying it is changing. And this is a card. When we see this card, a lot of times this means this is one of those things that the train has already left the station. You're not putting it back. It's not gonna and beep, 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 and back up. It's not going to happen. The train has left the station. This is going to come to pass. This is kind of a fated type of thing is what I'm seeing here. Because again, overall, they see it as a positive thing. We might have our adjustment issues. I can't talk, y'all. My accent gets in my own damn way. We may have some adjustments, and those may not be comfortable. Change usually comes with monkey wrenches and kinks in the chain and things like that you have to iron out. And this will be no different than that from what I'm looking at here. But they're saying overall it's for the better, so they're trying to get us to see it from that way. And by the way, let me do my due diligence and say this is all alleged, just my interpretation, okay, y'all? All alleged. All right. So moving down here, they're saying again with this Queen of Pentacles in reverse, the idea of kind of eventually doing away with the thought of this. These are coins here. This is pentacles, like going away with the idea of coins, of cash, or things like that, moving forward in some other direction. What is interesting here with the justice system and the Three of Pentacles like this is legal and fairness to people. So in terms of some kind of a way, again, overall the plan being to restore some sort of justice to people, some sort of fairness to people and things like that. But it's also interesting here that sometimes with this justice card balancing these scales, sometimes we're seeing things like scales and it makes us think of money and banks and things like that. And with this card here, it's kind of like, how do I put this? It's like there would be banks trying to figure out how do they move forward with this trend in a way that they don't get left behind. And I'll preface this to say, I am not a financial person. I am not one of these people that knows about stock markets and investing and all this kind of stuff. So I'm not giving you financial advice here or anything like that. I'm reading these cards. But it seems like there's some sense here that banks would feel like if we moved forward with this, that they would get left behind some kind of way, or that something would take off in a way that they would have less control over. And so they are meeting here together, thinking about ways that they could still have some sort of a place in a new structure like that. This is interesting. This stuff kind of goes over my head. I'm wondering what all that is about. Let me just pull one more card on it and just to see. Yeah, I don't know that I can move forward in that kind of a way, but I still want to be able to keep my business, keep my money in the way that I want. And so it's the idea of forming some new way of having business. So yeah, I see banks in the future changing some of the ways that they do business, or changing some of the ways that they operate, or things like that, to try to keep up with the times of where this money stuff is going. Especially, if we don't have cash or coins or things like that, then already that'd be one layer of something being different. But a lot of our money is, on paper, we have a certain amount that our account will say electronically, but it's supposed to be backed on real stuff. But this is looking like they're going to have to shift something to adapt if they're going to want to stay current, per se. So that'll be interesting to see what that looks like in the future. That's really hard to kind of try to imagine what that would be. So this is insane, trying to kind of read cards about future stuff that involves things that we don't have a current level of understanding of. I kind of feel like when, who was it? Was it Michelangelo or whatever, way back in the day, was trying to describe things like helicopters and couldn't figure out a way to call it because it didn't exist at that time. I feel like that here, and I'm not comparing myself to someone with a mind like that, for fuck's sake, no. I'm just comparing that level of confusion. Here, that's where I am with trying to kind of imagine that. So interesting. Okay, let's pull this up, reshuffle, and take a look a little bit deeper here. So let's see. Okay, let's give a little bit more of a look. In terms of what we've already covered, then we've looked at if regular money looks like it's gonna phase out some kind of way, and it does look like it's gonna phase out some kind of way in the future. And in terms of things changing, it looks like things like banks and stuff are going to be shifting and figuring out how they do business, because it looks like they're worried about being pushed out some kind of way. So that's interesting. And we know eventually our global international economy is going to be that 10 of Pentacles card, which is a really good and abundant and happy finance card. So then that leads me to wonder, okay, I have several questions here. I'm like, okay, well then what will the economy be like before that, happy whatever time? Are we going to be pretty good before then? Are we going to have something that's difficult to go through before then? Then I'm also wondering about like the future of cryptocurrency then. If we're not going to have, bills and cash and coins and stuff, then is that what's going to be remaining? Is like crypto, or like what? So There's a lot of things I want to look at here, and some of that we might, again, put over to a Perk Squad extended video in case people are wanting that, but I'm going to try to answer the things that I know most of y'all are curious about from what y'all have asked me in the comments sections in previous videos and stuff like that. So as I went to go shuffle again, I saw that card here on the bottom, which is another money kind of card. And look, this person is like literally creating this coin and practicing it and making, so like, you know what, let's start there. Let's take that as a sign and see what they're saying about that then. What do you mean by creating something and kind of making it? See, there's so many questions. I have so many questions. So I'm like, what? I wonder. I need to know. Okay, so looking here, without even needing any extra context on this, it's funny. Did she not come up in the reverse position in this placement of the 6 before? Yes. Weird. Yeah. So, in terms of making something new, this Knight of Wands is like someone that tries to kind of get in and get out hastily. And so this kind of has the sense of like, and the 3 of Wands of it not going to happen. Okay, so I'm just going to say what's intuitively coming up for me about this. And again, this is all alleged and just my interpretation, okay? But it feels like, you know how banks are allowed to print money and make more money and things like that. And it's like, oh, let's just go in and do that real fast and then get out because this is going to meet our needs to make some more money or whatever. And I know sometimes you have to make more money because money can be destroyed, so you literally have to create new money and stuff. I know it's not all a conspiracy, or whatever. But there probably is some form of inappropriateness around that sometimes. I think that in big systems like this, it is inescapable. That's a new word. Inescapable to be doing some inappropriateness. I think that that's probably happened from time to time. I think most people would agree that there's a potential that has happened before. And I'm seeing it here is why I'm saying it, is that I'm seeing some people have inappropriately abused this privilege or whatever in the past, and that this would not be permitted to continue in whatever this new thing that comes up is. So that is interesting. Maybe that's why banks are trying to find some way to stay in the scene or in working with it some kind of a way, because that gives less control up here. So you got to have control some other type of way. So this is very interesting here. Yeah. And then with this bottom row here, it feels like with this kind of timing and purpose card, I don't feel like this is going to be, a jarring, fast, like, one day we wake up and the system as we know it is no longer there, and the rug has been ripped out from under us, and now we don't know what to do, and so it's total panic. I don't really see that here. With the Temperance card in reverse, this is kind of feeling like there is some sort of slowly over time, this kind of a thing transforms in this way. It does feel less jarring than that. That doesn't mean necessarily that people would be comfortable with the pace that does happen, but at least it's not going to be that wake up overnight and what the hell, this is a whole new world kind of, scary bullshit that some people might be worried about. I don't see that. With that Pentacles here and this Swords here, this is kind of a more paced thing. This is a more grounded vibe, and this is a more thought out vibe. And so there is a sense of things kind of being grounded, the seeds already being placed and planted, and this having that methodical kind of growth to it. So that's what I'm looking at here. So with that question about like economy or resets or things like that, a somewhat, for lack of a better word, doomsday type of scenario, I don't particularly see it being quite like that here. Again, there could be elements of disturbances and change that is uncomfortable and stuff like that, but fortunately we haven't seen a tower moment or anything like that with some really fast-paced cards around it indicating a sudden horrible huge change. We haven't seen that. So in terms of a like mega international crash of epic proportions, I don't know that is indicative of anything that I've seen here thus far. And who knows? Maybe the spirit guides are like, we wouldn't tell you if that was going to go on because you'd fear project. Who knows if they would hold back that information, but I'd like to think that they would tell us, and I'm not seeing it. So just throwing that one out there. So I keep looking down at my little sticky notes with my questions on it. So that's what I'm looking down at. Just trying to manage all of these questions here. Let's see. What are we at for time? Let's do one more on here, and then we can take to the Perk Squad to look into anything else. So let's see. Our current type of international economy up until this kind of a thing, what are we looking at? Are we looking at discomfort? Are we looking at, anything that could be negative that we might need to know about? Things like that. Let's just take a look at that. Okay. Well, there's our tower moment, but it's a reverse. But because I know people will ask, let me see, upright, reverse. Okay, sideways, upright or reverse. All right. I've had it come out sideways and upright, and originally it came out reverse. So this is kind of when we get something that doesn't pick a certain direction, I read it as kind of sideways. Well, so I guess I'll just leave it there sideways to let it be there like that. So it's interesting that it would have kind of flowed in that way because of people's fear, really. When we're talking about with whether this is going to be upright or reverse, this has a lot to do with the collective's thoughts about it, thinking about it, how they're feeling about it, what they are creating on an energetic level about it. So what we're seeing here, trying to break it down, is that there will be something that happens, some kind of a way that accelerates this path a bit. So there is this sense of it being more gradual than an overnight flip or whatever, but that there may be at least one event, maybe several things that do kind of accelerate people towards wanting to take a look into different alternatives or something else or things of that nature. There will be accelerators that kind of are a part of that. But with that, the reason why this Tower card is coming out like that is because how that goes depends very largely on how people react to it. So this is going to be a change, but if we react to it as a collective, again, I'm talking about the collective of everybody, okay? If we react to it with super fear and panic and the beginning of COVID last year when everybody was panic buying everything at the grocery stores, and then that created real problems for people that there wouldn't have been really as much of a problem had people not done those panic things. That's what I'm seeing here, is a similar thing, that there will be at least one, maybe several events and things that happen to kind of catalyze the movement towards this direction, and the collective has a choice in how they respond, and their experience will vary depending on how they respond. If they respond like they did last year with the panic buying, then we're going to create more complications for ourselves than what we would have had to go through. But if they don't do that, and if they try to keep their level heads and try to think about things more pragmatically and do only what they need and things like that, I see this as being a much easier and smoother experience. So the jury's not out yet on that, because that our experience largely depends on how we end up choosing it and defining it and ascribing meaning to it, if that makes sense. Hopefully it does. But it does look like overall, with that Lover's card upright, that is a good sign that overall the economies are going to be, for lack of a better way of putting it, mostly stable. So I'm sure there could be certain countries here or there that experience their own shakeups or dives or thing like that. But in an international sense, it looks like there would be some form of international stability as a whole, for the most part. So I'm not, again, seeing like huge, horrible, widespread devastation around this. But I am seeing some emotional upset and some feelings of like, I don't like how this is going. I need to figure out how to shift this or what to do so that I'm not floating around here in no man's land, not really knowing how to adapt to this. And I got to get smart about it. So I do see the potential of some catalyzing events and things that could accelerate this process in an uncomfortable way. And how that goes depends on us, is really the bottom line with that. It really is. So I am going to ask the questions that I want to know now, still lingering in my mind on my sticky note too, is is like the future of cryptocurrency stuff. Like, is that where we're moving? You know, what's the future of that? Like, what are we looking at there? And if there's, you know, anything else that we should know that we haven't already, you know, figured out here, anything else that we should know in terms of what to do, how to handle this, you know, etc. kind of thing. And I'll do that with the Perk Squad video. If you'd like a private reading with me, then in the description box below, you can go to my website, BeasTalksAndTarot.com, and schedule it yourself. We still have that April special going on. So as it is April 22nd right now, we still have 8 more days. If you would like to book a shorter one question reading at a discounted rate, then that is still available to book for 8 more days. And there's other options too, if that's what you prefer. If you have more than one question, totally fine. But yeah, gonna take a look at this for Perk Squad members. Again, if you want to be a part of the Perk Squad and aren't already, then the join button below or a link in the description box that you can copy and paste and be a part of the Perk Squad if that's something you want to do. Of course, nobody has to. So gonna take a look into those extras in a little bit. And Peen Sweater over here says, what do you think? What about all this? Does anybody have any like premonitions or dreams, or like spirit came to them in a meditation and told them some things or stuff? Like, I honestly would be interested in knowing. Or are there any of you in the comments section who know a lot about this stuff? You're really in it. You have financial expertise or economic expertise. I want to know your opinions too, because I am not of that world. I am not of that world. So I'm just curious. Let us know. So don't be a stranger. Come back and see me, and I will talk at you later. Bye. Love you, mean it. Bye, y'all.